guys, let me show you how to create any shape in Adobe Photoshop and style it. So let's get to Photoshop quickly. So this Photoshop we are using is a size of 4 by 4 inches. So how do we create shapes in Photoshop? There are a lot of shapes you can create in Photoshop. Costume shapes that you can create. We have rectangular shapes. So these are the standard shapes. We have the rectangular shapes, we have the elliptical tool, we have the rounded rectangle, polygon tool, and the line tool. If you get to the costume shapes, it will give you access to get a particular precept of many other shapes that you can easily implement on your design. But on this one, I want to show you how to create a simple shape and style it like a rectangle. So now let's pick a rectangular tool, draw any shape at all. Now we have this as our rectangle automatically. If you're using latest versions of Adobe Photoshop, you have access to the property panel that contains the styles. But if you're using the old versions like CS6 and then to I think 2015, maybe you may not get access to this property panel here. So in this property panel, you see something like a padlock. The linkage to the styles of this particular shape is available. So the moment you click on this link tool here, automatically it links all the corners of the shape together. It means that if you are styling a particular side, look, automatically it takes or it styles all the corners together. You get my point? So what you basically want to do is, if you want to style a particular angle, it means that you have to turn the linkage tool off, or you have to turn the corner radius precept off. So if you turn it off, it will give you access to style a particular angle. Okay, it will give you opportunity to style a particular angle instead of styling all of them together. So now I want us to style it one by one. So now I want us to deal with only this particular portion. So what you do is, you can style only this corner like this, and then you style the other corner to something like this. This is 190, so let's keep this one to 298. I think it's okay. Now we have our shape. So you can click and hide this one, drag it and position it. So this become a shape. It was a normal rectangle, but now you've given it a nice shape, all right, which is very simple. So you can give the background a color, give it a solid color, and then duplicate. Let's give it a white. Give your shape a color by clicking on the thumbnail here. Let's pick white color, and then maybe we can just position our shape like holding the corners of the shape. Then you rotate it a bit, something like this. Turn it to look like a leaf, something like this. All right, so you can reduce the size of the shape, you can increase the size of the shape. Remember, it was just a normal rectangle that we have styled. So you can duplicate this shape by holding Ctrl or Command J on your keyboard. Duplicate it again, arrange it neatly. You can bring another one here. Okay, take your time to arrange them. Nice. Position this one to closer, and then I think you can select all of them together. Ctrl or Command J on your keyboard to group them. And what you're basically going to do is you resize them, position them wherever you want to position them. You can rotate them any way you want. So now this is a basic way to style a rectangular shape. So with this one, you can clip mark your images inside. You can give it a different color. You can even precisely give it a stroke. Go to the adjustment layer and then give it a blending options. So with this one, you can just give it a stroke. Like you click on the stroke and then you give it any stroke you want. You can give it yellow or any color at all. So with this one, we have applied a stroke to it, and the size of the stroke is 8. Now if you move to the next one, we have something like maybe we can maintain the same stroke color. You click and then that one too, you give it the same stroke. Yes, so you can apply the same thing to the other shapes. Let us, you can click on the background and then let's create another shape like ellipse or circle instead of ellipse. So just hold on shift on your keyboard. If you are using latest versions like 2022 upwards or 2021 upwards, I think you may not need to hold shift, so you just take off the fill. Let's give it a stroke and see how that one will be. Now look at this, the circle tool, we have been able to style it with a very nice stroke, right? So you can position it, you can rasterize it, you can give it any color you want, you can position your shapes however you want the shapes to align, you can position it. So this is how you can basically style a rectangular shape. Not only rectangular shape, if you want to add more shapes to this particular one, you can add it. You can create another shape, like for instance, maybe let's go to the rectangular toolbar, pick a polygon, and then let's give it a size 6. Automatically it's going to give us something like hexagon. So we can create something like hexagon. Yes, we have something like this. You can give it a color of white. That one too, you can position it. All right, you can position it. So with the shapes will basically help you to insert your properties, insert your element, being image, being any other items or whatever thing you want to work on. So right now we have been able to create another shape. You can duplicate it and insert your properties inside. That is if only you have something to clip marks inside. Else we can create another one, the same thing. Let's click on the shape once again. We have 6 at the options bar. Let's give it 3. So the 3 will give us access to create a shape with 3 sizes or 3 corners. That is what triangle, right? So if you just click and drag in, automatically it's going to give you a triangle with only 3 corners. So you can reduce the size if you want and position it. So all these shapes are found in Photoshop, and then you can play around with them, use them on your projects, use them to come up with whatever thing you want to create. So you could see that different shapes, different shapes. So apart from that, if you click and then you give it a size of let's give it a size of 4, right? It means automatically, what do you think we are going to draw? It's going to give us a rectangle, right? 4 corners. So that one too, you can position it, you can give it a color, any color. If you want a particular angle, it means it's only this angle, you style it. If you want the corner angle here, the down part, you come to this side and then you play around it, or you can better still style it something like this. If you don't want it, you can reduce, and then you can reduce the other side too and style these corners instead. Okay, and this one, to turn it off, automatically we have styled only one corner, that is the upper part. So you can play around it, and it's out of these shapes that you can come out with any other design. All the designs we have been doing, we come out with the design through the shapes. It's the shapes that give us the opportunity to clip marks our images and other stuffs. So you can play around it. So this is the basic way to create any shape and style it in Adobe Photoshop. With your property panel, you can style the shape, you can give it a stroke, you can give it any color, you can give it a borderline. Thank you very much for joining me to the end of this video. I hope you know how to create shapes now in Photoshop and style it.